everybody, it's Manny from Tropical Forge. So if you've been following for a while, you know that we incubated some meat chickens back in January. We did all the normal things and we lost all but one. Only 8 hatched, so we lost, 7 of them. We have a couple theories about why that happened, but nonetheless, an opportunity stumbled into our path yesterday to get 50 almost fully grown meat chickens by a local farmer. He was leaving town to go see the eclipse. He really didn't want to have to deal with them and have to take care of them, coordinate care or whatever. So another farmer friend reached out to me. He's a mutual friend or whatever, and so we have this opportunity. So Dad is loading, we have those like commercial chicken crates. He's loading those onto the truck. It's early Saturday morning, so I got both kids in the truck. Dad and I have a breakfast sandwich to go that I made. The kids have snacks, extra clothes, diapers, the dog's in the crate. We got the whole shebang. So we're gonna hook to the trailer. We were gonna put them on the pickup, but the car seats are already in the Excursion. It's just easier to just go with that. So we're gonna get hooked up to the trailer, head over the mountain, go get these birds. We're gonna stop at the feed store because I wanna grab a little bit of broiler feed. They could probably live on some of the other feeds I have here. I have some turkey feed and I have layer feed, of course, or whatever, but I'll grab a few. He said that they're like 7 to 8-ish weeks, but they're a little small because they were the runts. So I guess what he does is he pulls the runts out. Obviously, I'm assuming he sells like the biggest ones or whatever, and then he raises the runts up separately so they don't get trampled and all this kind of stuff, or this is what I understand. So he said that these birds have dressed out for him at 5 or so pounds in the past. My math, even if we pay the butcher to do it, we were going to butcher them ourselves when they're ready, which probably in a couple weeks. But Matt's not here, and I'm still dealing with nausea, especially in the evening. So I think even once we pay the butcher, we buy these birds from this guy and the diesel fuel to do the running around, we're still going to round out to, if we can dress each bird around 5 pounds, even 4 pounds, we're going to be at like $2 or less a pound for chicken, which I think is pretty awesome. So this was a nice little insurance policy for us that I didn't know was coming, because I kind of didn't know what I was going to do when we lost these other birds. I'm like, I really didn't want to buy meat chicks, and then, not that I don't want to, it's just they're kind of, till you spend $3 or $4 on a meat chicken, you feed it, if you pay the butcher or whether you spend a day butchering them yourselves, it's just a lot of cost. And so we've struggled with meat chickens in the past, just making it cost effective. And I know it's not all about cost. It's about what you feed them, that you raise them yourselves. They're not in a chicken house, that kind of thing. But this was an opportunity that we couldn't pass up. So I'm going to take you along today as we hopefully bring home 50 healthy meat chickens. The guy that is friends with this guy, I really trust. So I think it's going to go really well. So we'll take you along for this, show you what they look like, where we're going to put them. I'll show you our new meat goats. I haven't been on here for like a week because, well, 1, it's just been super busy, and 2, I'm still dealing with a lot of nausea. So I'll give you a little pregnancy update here also once we get back. All right, so we went and got the birds. They're loaded on the trailer. We got some feed while we were out. I might do something different with rabbits. Rabbit feed, rabbit pellets are really expensive. So I may supplement some more hay with them or do some more research about that. But that's for another day though. So we got all of our birds in here. Dad's gonna get the feed up to the shed. I'm gonna get it unloaded, and then we're gonna get these birds set up in their structure. All right, I'm definitely more out of breath than usual, moving 750 pounds of feed. So got all the feed in here. It's kind of organized enough. It's starting to rain, so I just had to get it in. All right, while we walk back down to help Dad with the broilers, I'll give you the quick pregnancy update. So my progesterone was low, assumingly probably why I had the 2 miscarriages. We'll never know. Could have been a chromosome abnormality, could have been low progesterone. I really should have started on progesterone when I got positive pregnancy tests, but the midwife I was with at the time didn't say anything about that, so it's fine. I went back to my old midwife, and everything's going really well. We had a heartbeat at week 15, which is exciting. We had a heartbeat at week 11 and week 15. That was my biggest worry, because you can carry a non-living baby in you for several weeks and not know. There can be no symptoms, no blood, no cramping, no nothing. Unless you have a home Doppler, you wouldn't know. So as of right now, we are just over 15 weeks. Everything's going fine, besides being crazy tired and having nausea in the evening still. I would say that everything's moving along. So we are just praying that this baby gets here full term, alive, all those good things. If you're new here, we've had 3 miscarriages. We have 3 on Earth. So we are hoping to, you know, tip the scale towards more live babies than babies in heaven. But for today, we're gonna get these chickens in. Of course, it's starting to rain again. It's rained all week. We had crazy flooding here. Rivers and rivers coming down the mountain. Our house is spring fed, so there's tons of springs coming down off the mountain, and they were literal rivers. It was crazy. So I'm gonna get some bedding. I'm gonna get some bedding to put down in this coop. So if you've been around for a while, you know that we've used this for turkeys. We've used it for goats. Here's our 2 new meat goats. They're Kikos. They're both pregnant, we're told. One is visibly pregnant, the other one probably. They are super wild. They weren't handled a ton at their last house. The brown one, who we named Bonnie, like Bonnie and Clyde, has gotten out twice. And none of my other goats have ever gotten out of this fencing. So they're both in right now. They seem pretty happy. We quarantined them for like a week and a half. I didn't see any issues. So everybody's happily living over here. We're gonna get these chickens into here. We might let them be out in this big part. That probably won't happen today just because of the rain. And if you've ever raised meat chickens, you know they're not very smart. If they're out, or at least in our experience, if they're out in like weather of any sort, they're not smart enough to go back into where it's warm and dry. So we got these crates maybe, I don't know, not long after we moved here. We've been here a year now. Well, we've lived here a year in June. We've owned the property for a year. So we used to just haul the chickens to the butcher or wherever in like just pet carriers that we round up from junk piles or yard sales or ones that people gave us or whatever. And they were fine. They worked. They got the job done. But there's a guy down the road here and he has like antique tractors and all kinds of goodies for sale, and he had these. They were used but not cracked or whatever, so they were a little bit of an investment, but man, for days like today they were so nice. We loaded these, there's like 50-ish chickens. We loaded them in less than 10 minutes. No one escaped. It was beautiful. You know, Zad's easily able to unload them in here into the shed. So we may, right now we have this kind of panel up here because we had the 2 meat goats sectioned off in here for, like I said, like a week and a half or whatever. If we put them in here, we might want to put something against this. I don't know that they'd fit through here. The bottom holes are a little smaller and they're pretty fat, so I don't think they'd fit through. If we decide to let them outside, we would cover this. If not, we'll just leave them in there. The guy that we got them from just had them in about the same size shed and probably had 100 in there. So not that, you know, obviously I'd love to like pasture raise them and have them out on some nice lush grass, but you know, this is what we're working with here, folks. You know, we have 14 acres and 10, 11-ish of it is woods, which is great for goats, hogs. You know, the chickens love it too, but these guys are just, like I said, they're just too dumb to like go back in. The egg layers, they're smart. They lived in the woods at our old house also. They went in every night. It was beautiful. The meat chickens we tried to raise in the woods, and one batch got eaten, one batch, you know, like one day it was pouring down rain and they just sat there like eating and not, you know, we have a nice warm shelter at the time with a heat lamp in it, and they're just like not even going in it. So this should keep them safe until butcher time. So the plan with these chickens is we're gonna let them grow out a couple more weeks. I think he said he thinks they're about 7-ish weeks. I'm gonna probably let them grow to 9 or 10. They're pretty big, but not quite as big probably as I'd want them to be to go to the butcher. And like I said, we should be at $2 a pound, give or take, for these birds. So I'll keep you posted once we get to that point, how much meat we actually come home with. The plan is to have the butcher take care of them, and then we'll part them out. We'll put like the breasts, the tenders, the wings, the leg piece or whatever, you know, we'll separate all those into vacuum seal bags, put those in the freezer. We haven't had like whole chicken breast in a long time because we've always like smoked it or just like shredded it and canned it. But I have a good bit of canned poultry on the shelf right now, chicken and turkey, so I'd really love to get some whole pieces in the freezer. We can just do a lot more different things for meals. So that's the plan. So everybody's happy, tucked in their shed. We need to get them some water and food. Goats are obviously always curious about what's going on. So once these go to butcher, we bring them home. I'll walk you through that process. Sorry I was gone for so long. See you guys next time.